process, and what was necessary for you to fit him and the whole organization?
Zero, except his reputation. Spoke to a lot of people, watched obviously his career, and didn't know all about his career, his playing career and all that. Got to know a lot about that here, communicating with him the last few times that we've talked, and excited about the opportunity. The one thing that struck me immediately from the first time that I spoke to Don was his communication and his honesty, his straightforward attitude, and it's continued. So I knew right from the start that if this worked out, that we had a good foundation, no different than we talk about our teams, a good foundation to start with and to work from. So excited obviously to be here, and before I forget, because Don mentioned to me, you better thank your wife before you move on. So I'll thank my wife and my children and obviously my family. When you have this happen, and there's 32 jobs in the National Hockey League, and as a head coach, it's not lost how special this is and how appreciative I am for this opportunity. But a lot of people go into the process of getting to this point, and my wife and my family are a huge part of who I am and why I'm sitting here today.
We'll go front center.
Dave Metzold, Valley Sports, Ohio. Happy birthday, Todd.
Not everybody's going to do that.
Oh, we're going to do it. We're going to do it all day long.
Oh my gosh.
Dean, you inherit a team that a lot of people are talking about because of so many good young prospects. What do you like about this team that you're going to start coaching here this fall?
Everything, as far as the core group. Yeah, a lot of people talk about the young players, but what about the structure or the core group that we have here that's been here for a while? They're really good too, right? I don't know what's happened in the past, right? I mean, you can speculate, you can look from the outside in, but I don't know exactly how they've conducted themselves within the room and how they are as a team and how they play for each other. I don't know that yet, but that's my job, and that's the coaching job and management's job, to put the people in place and then to get them to play hard each and every night. So everything excites me right now, because I don't know exactly what we have in that room, but I do know from the outside looking in, it's fantastic on paper, right? And it's my job and the coach's job to get the best out of them, to play hard every night. And I have no doubt that we will do that, and we'll do that very quickly.
Second row right.
Hey, Dean, Brian Hedger, the Columbus Dispatch. Nice to see you.
Got a text from me yesterday.
That's right.
Yeah.
Welcome to Columbus.
Thank you.
I'm wondering, as a coach, each team has different rosters and they're made up differently.
Yeah.
Do you feel like like a coaching strategy can fit any team, or do you feel like you kind of need to fiddle with that a little bit, per roster that you are overseeing? Yeah,
no, it's a fantastic question. I believe that you have to have a structure. You have to have how you're going to play the game, as far as your systematic stuff is but then it needs to be tweaked by who your personnel is and how your team is built. But you have to have a foundation. You have to know how you're going to play. And our team will play with great detail, with great structure, but we'll also give them the opportunity to be creative in the offensive zone and through the neutral zone. The game is made of mistakes. You got to build your system to allow the players to make those mistakes and still give them a chance to have success. So we'll have that structure put in place for sure, through video, through teaching, through training camp, through practice, through preseason, and hopefully we're dialed right in for game one, because we're playing somewhere in game one that I am familiar with. Hopefully we'll have that right away, but then we will tweak it for our roster and who is playing on our hockey team. So I think there's a little bit of both involved in there.
Go to the back row left.
Hi, Coach. Welcome to Columbus. You're coming from an organization that's a consistent, or a team that consistently made the playoffs, and now you're coming to an organization that's looking to get back to that point. So I guess my question is, what kind of challenge does that provide you?
You know what? This is a hard league, right? I mean, it's the best league in the world, the best players. It's so even all across the board. I don't care any given night you can get beat, and obviously, but there's a process that I'll mention a lot about winning the Stanley Cup, because that's our goal. Our goal is to win the Stanley Cup, but to get there, you got to make the playoffs, and you got to win 1, 2, 3, and 4 rounds. You know, yeah, we were in the playoffs in Minnesota a lot. We didn't have success yet. That's what we're building towards. We want to get there, and then we want to take that next step. So, you know, you learn from all of the situations that you've been in, that I've been in as a head coach in the National Hockey League. Hopefully, I know that I've learned from those situations. When we get back to that spot, we'll be in a better spot.
Second row right.
Hey Coach, welcome to Columbus. Kellyanne Stitz with ABC6. Kind of piggybacking off of that question, what made this opportunity so attractive?
It's just, if you talk to anyone around the National Hockey League, or probably anyone in this room, they talk about what an incredible city this is, what an incredible, the people are here, and that's not lost on us. It's not lost on my wife and my family, for sure. But we're here to win hockey games. We're here to do a job. I'm not here to live. I'm here to coach the Columbus Blue Jackets, and I'm here to have success. So that excites me. That excites me that the foundation, we're not coming, like, people are going to probably ask the culture and the foundation is set here. It just needs to be built upon. And that's what our job is. That's what, you know, Don and I believe that we are going to accomplish to meet that ultimate goal.
Second row, little left.
Hey Dean, Dylan Tyre with the Blue Jackets, welcome. You just talked about learning from every stop you've been at in the National Hockey League, the American League too. You've had the opportunity to coach a lot of elite young talent in the league, whether it's Ovechkin, Backstrom, Fiala, Boldy, most recently.
Kaprizov.
Yes, Kaprizov.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah. You've got a lot of young talent here in Columbus, so how do you apply that to now?
Same thing. Every individual is different, right? You can't teach Kirill Kaprizov like Alexander Ovechkin, although I taught both of them everything they know. I'm pretty good with Russians, clearly. Especially Ovi's shot. Like, I worked a lot on that. But you teach, or I mean, you react to different players different ways, right? You have to get to know them. You have to build a relationship. You have to build a trust in them that you can teach them. I think one of the things that gets lost in our league is that people forget that these guys still want to be taught. They want to be coached. They want to be treated fairly but firmly, you know, to not just run and have structure. So I think at every individual, so it's my job and the coach's job to build those relationships, get the best out of each player, but each one's not the same. So we will dive into that immediately. I've already talked to Don about speaking to, well, obviously I'm going to speak to every player, but maybe make a couple of trips to see some people and talk to some guys and get a real good feel. We're late, obviously, in the summer here, so we're diving into it, and we're going to get after it right away, tomorrow.
Dave, front row center.
Coach, this dovetails off that question perfectly. When a player comes into a new team, you talk about chemistry and how long does it take you to develop that chemistry with your line mates, et cetera. For a new coach, you want to develop that chemistry with your leadership group, et cetera. How do you build on that? And maybe that's exactly what you were talking about.
Yeah, communicate, right? hopefully it's face to face. I think that's the best way to do it. And again, it doesn't have to be come into my office and close the door and, but I want every player on our team to feel very comfortable that they can come and talk to me or any of the coaches and be honest and straight up. It might not be what they want to hear. It might not be what I want to hear from the player. That's okay. We can have differences. We can go back and forth. We can yell. We can, can't throw stuff anymore, but you have to build that trust. You have to build that communication. So that's something that we want to, do right away to get the best out of the individual. And then the biggest thing, not the biggest thing, but a big thing for me is building a team first mentality, right? I mean, you have to have guys that are selfish buggers to score goals, but it has to be within the team, and you have to do it with your teammate. And I think that's been a strength of mine. I know it is to build that, that team first mentality and play hard for each other. Not for me, not for Don, but for each other. And we'll try to get after that immediately.
Back center.
Hi, Dean. Whitney Harding from NBC4. Welcome to Columbus.
Thank you.
Todd, happy birthday, by the way. We've talked a lot about developing players, but what have you learned about yourself as your time as a head coach with the Wild? What sorts of things did you learn that you want to get better at and that you're ready to kind of step into and just grow here in Columbus?
We don't have enough time to talk about everything I need to get better at. You learn all the time, right? Constant, right? I went to the World Championships in Prague with Team Canada, and I was with different coaches, different players. And there's so many things that I took out of that. It's like, geez, I didn't know. Maybe we do this, maybe we do that. And then you bring it into what you believe in and how you want to play. So there's structurally things that you learn from. There's communication things that you learn from. There's all those things that maybe there's some pre-scout stuff that you change. There's tons of stuff. Like honestly, and it's the first time I'd ever been fired in season. So I had an opportunity to sit back, watch hockey games, evaluate, write notes, right? You do it on your phone now, dictate for me. But just what you want to do. And if you get another opportunity, when you believe that you get another opportunity, that you'll do this differently. But it could change, right? You have to have your structure, but then you have to work off of that as well. So to answer your question, you're constantly learning and constantly, tweaking as you go within the base of who you are and how you want to coach.
Go back here to Craig in front.
Don, this is for you. A lot of times you hire somebody here, he checked all the boxes. For you, what was the box that was checked?
Well, there's a lot of them, but I think number one is passion. To be a coach in the National Hockey League, every time I spoke to Dean, he was the same way, excited about the potential opportunity. But if I asked him a question about whatever style, anything, you could always see the passion come out of it. We spent some time together last week when he was here in town, and it didn't matter what topic we talked about. When he speaks, he's got a lot of passion for what he does.
Back left.
Dean, welcome to Columbus. Ed Francis with First Ohio Battery. You've coached against many of these guys on at least one or two occasions. Is there anyone that stands out to you as someone that you are now particularly excited to have in your lineup on a nightly basis?
One guy, no, several. Hopefully all of them, right? To single out one player, I hope they all are going to be fantastic leaders. Once we get in that dressing room, once I start that communication process with the players, I might be able to give you a different answer. But there's not one leader on your hockey club. I want there to be several leaders. Obviously, guys lead by example. Some lead by verbal. Some are quiet that way. So yeah, I'm excited about a lot of players, but I'm more excited about the group.
Back right.
Mike A. from the Columbus Dispatch. This is for Don. Can you describe with some detail, if you can, what this process was?
Long. You know, it was interesting because when the timing when it all came down, you know, we were about 8-9 days away from the draft and free agency. And as I spoke to Mike Priest, you know, this is the most important decision. I said it at my press conference. This is the most important decision we're going to make all summer, is to hire our coach. And so we knew we were the only team looking for a head coach, so we had time on our side. So we wanted to get through some of those critical dates. In the meantime, I had JD and Rick Nash, Chris Clark, all assist in this process. We talked to a lot of people. You know, it's fortunate to have a guy like Rick Nash that talked to a lot of players that had played for Dean. And so we spent a lot of time on the background before we got into, I certainly had a couple of conversations with Dean throughout it, but until we got into the meat of the interviewing process. But so the time was on our side. We know we're getting a little bit late now. That's why we finally got to the point this weekend where we made a decision. But you know, I thought the process went really well. Would you like it to go faster? I think everybody on the outside wanted to make sure we got the right person, and so taking that extra week or so to make sure that we checked all the boxes and had everybody do their due diligence, we came to a great decision in hiring a Dean.
Second row, Hedge. Go ahead.
Over here, I got a quick one for Dean and then one for Don as well. For Dean, I'm wondering, and it's kind of late in the process here, just by the nature of how everything went down. Have you had a chance to talk to the current coaching staff at all? And do you have plans to, you know, maybe bring in one of your own guys? That's for you. And then for Don, I kind of want to ask you, kind of building of what you just said, just how you were there in Carolina when Rod Brindamore came in, and it was like almost immediate, you know, results for you guys there. Just how important it is to get the right guy to lead a team. So, Dean first.
Jeez, you got to ask the question to me first, because I can't even remember what you said in the previous question. To Don, is that the thing that Don did is he communicated with me right from the start that I've got this going on and this going on. I may not get to it. And same as that I'm going to communicate with the players. You might not like what you want to hear. Well, no, I want to get hired like 3 weeks ago. But you know what? It's the process. But he's honest and straight up and tells you exactly. So yeah, you can deal with it, right? So that's the building part. That's the trust, and that's the communication that we have already. As far as the coaches, yeah, of course we have to put a staff together. Have I started that? No. You know, we just flew in last night. Things have, as Donnie said, quickly, but we're getting after it as soon as we leave here, right? To start that process. Of course, we've got to put a staff together. We've got a lot of things to get to before, you know, training camp. But fortunately, I've been through, you know, a lot of training camps. So your structure will be the same. It'll just be how we, you know, with our coaching staff, how we detail how we're going to play. I have an idea how I want to play the game structurally. Clearly, once the coaching staff gets together, we are a team, the same as we want our hockey club to be a team. So there will be communication, and there'll be they will have input of how we're going to play the game. Because it's not me, it's not my ideas, my systems. It's our systems. When we leave that coach's room, our group is a team. Our coaching is a team, the same as we want our guys to step through that gate onto the ice to play the hockey game.
Back to the middle, second row.
I think I was going to ask you Brian's
sorry.
question.
Sorry, Hedge.
Might be your birthday, but not yours.
Thinks he's running the show because it's his birthday.
It's an interesting question, Brian, because when I took over my previous team 6 years ago and hired Rod, the one thing that Rod had going for him is the same passion. You know, I'll probably get beat up for this, but Rod probably was a better player.
Well, no, 100% he was a better player.
But I would say Dean was tougher.
I don't know about that either. Maybe I could fight. But that's it.
But yeah, same kind of passion for it, and you know, it just makes you feel good when you talk to people, and they show their true colors. You know, as far as what they're thinking is what they're going to tell you, and I repeated it before. It's when I started talking to Dean, the passion was something that stuck with me.
Now we'll go to Jeff.
Thank you, Todd. Jeff Svoboda with BlueJackets.com. I'll just build off of what Don said because he's mentioned the word passion a number of times. Just kind of curious, like, where does that passion for the game come from, and how does that kind of push you on a day-to-day basis to help mold a hockey team the way you want to?
When my mom comes to town, I'll let you meet her. It's right there, right? Doesn't fall too far from the tree, right? I mean, my father played too, and, but I don't know. It's just it's in you, right? It's just I don't care what I play. Don and I were just talking about it. I play no sports that'll hurt my golf swing now, but any sport that I play, it's full on, right? I don't know any other way. It's always been that way. I've been fortunate because it's allowed me to play in the National Hockey League. It's probably allowed me to be sitting in this seat right now. Is that my inner drive is as much as anyone's external, expectations of me. I have a huge expectations of myself and what I do, and take great pride in that. And I look forward to bringing that passion, that desire, that drive to the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Okay, we've got a question on Zoom. Bear with me. We'll start with Aaron Porcline. Porty, can you hear me?
Thank you, Todd.
Go ahead.
Sorry I can't be with you. Sorry I can't be with you today, Don and Dean and others. Dean, there have been some legendary coaches here in Columbus: Dave King, Ken Hitchcock, John Tortorella. It's a market that's had incredible fan support through the years. It has not had that great run to get over the top, a long playoff run that really grabs the city and takes it for a ride. It hasn't been achieved yet. How much of that is a draw to you to be the guy that delivers this market something special like that, to realize what the NHL playoffs can be and how great it can be if you're able to stick around for a while?
Yeah, first off, Aaron, I got the job with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Sorry for not texting you back.
No, you're fine. I understand.
Yes, that long playoff drive, I'll be honest with you, it eats at me too, right? That's what I want as a head coach. That's what our players want. Obviously, that's what Don wants, and the ownership here. But sure, most importantly, the fan base wants that, 100%. We want to win every single night, no question. As I said, everybody talks in it, having it, you got to get through the first round. You got to make the playoffs. Then you got to get further through the first round, then second, third, and fourth. Yeah, do we want that long run? Heck yeah, that's what we want. We want to win the Stanley Cup. I dreamt of hoisting the Stanley Cup with a blue suit on, right? I mean, that's what you do. I had a passion to lift the Stanley Cup with my skates on. That's not going to happen. But I have this opportunity to hoist the Stanley Cup with a suit on. That's my desire. That's my drive. That's why I'm sitting here, and that's why every player comes into our locker room will have that same drive, that same desire, and that same goal. And hopefully we can accomplish it sooner than later.
And can you just say how intense this process was? You've been through many interview processes through the years. Where does this one rank? Was it unique or different in any way?
Number one right now. This process has been fantastic. I've loved it every step of the way. No, it's it's been upfront and honest, and as Don said, we met with JD and Chris Clark and Nasher, and just like coming in here, and again, it's just the honesty. You know, if it didn't work out like it has right now, then I'd still have great deal of respect for Don Waddell and how he went through this process, and to get to this point. If it's me, fantastic, obviously. If it wasn't, then the communication was fantastic. The honesty was always there. And so again, that's the foundation that we're going to build on as a staff.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Mark Scheig. Go ahead, Mark.
Thank you, Todd. Good morning, Dean. Welcome to Columbus. You alluded to earlier about how the team is made up of both young players and established veterans, but what's going to be the challenge of making sure you get the best of both worlds between developing that young core to where it wants to go versus getting the results that everyone's looking for?
Well, I think as a coaching staff, the first thing is you have to implement your structure and again, your team first mentality. And it's like, I don't care if you're a first-year player, if you haven't played a game in the National Hockey League, if you're sitting in that dressing room, you're part of the Columbus Blue Jackets, and each player has to help the other player have success. And that's what we will instill. There'll be no individual thought processes once we get into that dressing room. It's I don't care how old you are, I don't care how many games you've played. You put that jersey on, and we're going out to to compete together, to get to our ultimate goal. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to getting in that room with this group and creating that atmosphere, that winning atmosphere, that atmosphere that we're never going to get outworked. When we go into a building or teams come in here, they know that if they don't work hard, they lose. Simple as that. Our hockey club will work hard each and every night. We might get beat on some skill set one night or another, but we can never get outworked. So I'm looking forward to that challenge.
Thank you.
Time for a couple more. We'll go to Dan Rosen. Go ahead, Dan.
Hey, Dean. I hope you can hear me. Congratulations. I wanted to ask you, last time you took over a team, it was mid-season, and you were an interim in Minnesota, and then that interim tag was taken off. This time, you get the job before the season, you have a full training camp. Is this more of a blank slate for you, and is it a little bit more of an exciting challenge in that way because you have the opportunity here to really sink your teeth in rather than take something over and then try to sink your teeth in?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know if these people know, but you wrote an article, or we wrote an article together, and so thanks for helping me out, by the way, Dan.
My record is impeccable.
Yes. Yeah. Dan said NHL.com. He said if you write with me, you're guaranteed to get a job. So Bob Woods wrote for you too, and he got a job. So
yeah,
wow,
2 for 2.
Yeah, you're unbelievable, Dan. I'm not paying you though.
You have something to do with it.
Yeah, 100%. So excited to have from, like you said, day one. That first meeting is going to be important. But prior to that, as we mentioned, building the communication and the relationships with the players, or starting the relationship with the players individually right away, and then that first meeting with obviously not only our group but our prospects and draft picks and all of that, and setting who we are going to continue to be, who we are as Columbus Blue Jackets. And yeah, it's an exciting time to have it from day one for sure, and obviously looking forward to getting it going.
Okay, we'll wrap up. We'll go back to Aaron Portzline. Go ahead, Porty.
Great, thanks. Dean, you've got a lot of work to get through here, obviously, over the next 2.5 months, but when you first looked at this team's schedule and saw that opener, did your eyes twinkle? Did your teeth gnash? How did you respond, and how much are you looking forward to that or not?
You know what I dislike is when ex-coaches go in and say, oh, this game means nothing to me. That's such bull. Of course it means something to you, right? I mean, they just fired me last year. Of course it means something. Do we want to win any more than we want to win game 2? No. I mean, you want to win every game. But does it mean something? Yeah, absolutely. But fortunately or unfortunately, I can't put skates on anymore. So, you know, we will do our best to get the team prepared to play that game 1 and definitely get off on the right foot.
Great. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate that. Here in a minute, I'm going to ask Don, Dean, to step outside in front of the backdrop. If we can get the photographers, we'll take a couple of quick pics, and then both guys will be available for one-on-one. So thank you again for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was phenomenal.
Back to the.
Do you have time for one-on-one? You do? Okay. I don't want to screw over Halperin. Well, Eric knows who to take it up with, so.
Here's your daughter now.
Junior. Is this on?
Mic check 1 2 3 4 5. Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 Happy birthday, Todd. Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Yeah, can I get Dean real quick? Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10.
Pleasure.
Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Sorry, I know you just got berated with a bunch of questions.
All good. All good.
Oh, well, then we can do sticks then.
Yeah, each year, so we've already set up a real clear. We're going first, and then we'll kind of expand out from there. In Minnesota, they literally 4 blocks from the rink, which I love. So then I can walk here, and my wife's in a flight tank, so she bounces
Okay.
So yeah, it's quite a process, but we're excited about it. You know, a lot of people train are like, you got to find places to work. It's exciting to find a place to live, set it up,
You ready? Lots of good options here. Columbus is such a great city. Yeah. Cool. Are we good, Mozzie? All right. Dean, you had mentioned in the press conference that when you were fired midway through the season with the Wild, you were able to sit back and kind of reflect. What did you learn in that time?
Yeah, lots. Obviously, you learn. You watch. You're able to watch other teams a little bit more closely. So you pick up some systematic stuff, and you evaluate what you did to get to that point. Regardless if you think you deserve the firing or not, you got fired. So there's some things that you did that you need to change. There's a lot, to be honest with you. You go through. You have your philosophy, you have your structure, you have all that kind of stuff, and how you want to play the game, and how you want to treat the players. But there's things that you can tweak. So we'll tweak things, and hopefully we're. Oh, I know. I'll be a better coach second time around.
What is your coaching philosophy?
Well, you get asked that a lot,
Yeah.
right? And I'm not sure that you can pinpoint one thing. Yeah, I think it's we're going to be a work-based, intense, pressure hockey team that continually puts heat on teams to have success or make plays in all areas of the ice. But the one thing that our group will do on a consistent basis is we'll play hard. We'll play hard for each other, and I think that's a key point in starting or building, your team as a club.
Don mentioned multiple times, as well as you in the press conference, about structure and putting that in place here. What is your vision for the team when it comes to establishing that structure?
Well, a lot of structure as far as each and every zone, right? You play a certain way through the defensive zone, you play a certain way through the neutral zone, and then you want to have your thought process and your ideas in the offensive zone and give the players that freedom. But you implement the systems, and then you tweak them to who your hockey club is. Obviously, I've got to get in and not only watch the video, which I clearly watched some video on the Columbus Blue Jackets in the past, but I want to see them play how I visualize them to play the game, and then we can tweak it by who and what our personnel is.
A good core group here, but a ton of young talent too. How do you get the most out of those prospects to help reach their potential and exceed it?
Yeah, well, I think what you have to do is you have to get not only the coaches to teach and to motivate, but you have to get the core players to teach and motivate as well. I think the quicker you can turn your team over to your veteran leadership, the better off you're going to be. I would love to see our core guys, our older guys, teaching the younger guys, because of the respect level that they have within their peer group. Sure, us coaches are going to coach them and get the best out of them, but we're going to ask a lot of our leadership group as well.
You come from a hockey family. How much has that influenced your, of course you played too, but how much has that influenced your life and just your journey here?
Yeah, hockey's been, it's been my whole life. I joke that I've had a couple different jobs in the summer, but basically I've never had a real job. I've been in hockey my whole life as a player or a coach. So it's been a wonderful ride, and it's continuing. I'm so excited about it. But yeah, my family is hockey crazy. My dad played, my son played, my brother played. We've all been involved in hockey a long time. So yeah, I'm excited about this next year.
And coming in the late summer, what did the next steps for you look like?
Yeah, well, obviously to get here and find a place to live and all that good stuff, that personal stuff will get taken care of. But now it's building the relationships, not only with the players clearly, making those phone calls, but building relationships with the staff as well. Just getting to know, obviously I met and have a relationship already with Don Waddell, but now there's a lot of other people within the organization as far as trainers, as far as just people communication people that I'm going to be dealing with, that I want to start creating those, relationships with as well.
And last one for me, what is your, I know you just got here, but what is your initial impression of Columbus and the Blue Jackets?
Well, I've been here, obviously, playing against and spent some time in the downtown area and absolutely love it. And anyone that you speak to says, no traffic. Just wonderful people, great golf courses, all of that good stuff. So living here, we're really excited about that opportunity. But as I said in the press conference, my job is to coach and to win hockey games. We're coming here to do that, and fortunate that we have a wonderful place to live.
Thank you. Pleasure meeting you. Thank you.
Whit, your turn. Whit's next?
Thank you so much. I didn't trust you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Which bike do you want to choose?
So I was texting you, and I like the. I'm gonna take the sound bite from his presser, and I'm gonna use that for a package.
Because we're ready to go.
But I've been texting Stu. So.
They can say when rolling, they can just pick it from the
Yeah.
I was like, driving here, I'm like, I got to turn the heated seat on in my car because I was just like, what happened? What happened? Oh, I'm sure it's going to only get worse. There was another thing that happened not so long ago. I don't know if it was physical, but I was just like, that one, it hit me out. Yeah. And then what, like, I don't know.